The ACC is clearly prepping for a Super League mass exodus. And if you go through the details of the settlement, it makes you start thinking like, man, the way all this wound up, it feels like the ACC is thinking when, not if. When, not if on this deal. Certainly on teams leaving the league in general, but this makes it feel like, all right, they definitely think this Super League is a big threat. Now, people are going to come back and say, well, John, isn't that great? Project Rudy. I don't think the idea here is Project Rudy, the way this is written, unfortunately. Project Rudy would include the rest of the ACC. This definitely would not. So shout out to Matt Baker at The Athletic. I saw the name Matt Baker. I was like, oh, he's at The Athletic now. I guess he was with like the Tampa Bay Times. Let me fact check that for you. He's a great journalist. He's done an excellent job. Okay, yeah. Previously spent 9 years at the Tampa Bay Times. He's now at The Athletic. That guy is awesome. I've had him on the show before, and he did a hell of a job reporting on all the Clemson, Florida State, ACC battle going on. But he got a hold of the official settlements, okay? The official settlement it's 68 pages, and it is officially called, I'm calling it a settlement here, officially called an option of limited withdrawal. This is the juiciest part of the settlement. My fault. Juiciest part of the settlement is an option of limited withdrawal. Okay. And this is what has everybody talking about. Basically, it's a Super League clause. There's a Super League clause in this thing that give Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, whoever is going to be an out to get into a Super League if it were to happen. So it says, suppose at least 6 members want to leave the same sport. Okay. That's key language. Suppose at least 6 members want to leave the same sport to join a single sport league, conference, or other association alongside other schools. In that case, they'll owe $75 million or 50% of the current withdrawal figure, whichever is greater. In practice, that would allow Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, and a few other top programs to leave for a Super League in football while remaining ACC members in basketball, baseball, and every other sport. So that's the interesting part here. It's like, man, this to me is just like a cherry on top for what Florida State and Clemson did here. It's like, not only did they drastically reduce, remember, they thought it was going to cost like $500 million at one point. That's what their attorneys had estimated it. Now that's probably a high estimate because that's what they're going to throw out in court. But they thought it was going to be 9 figures to get out of this thing. Now, the exit fee drops to $75 million by 2030, which is when everyone thinks movement will be happening anyway. And you can even use that $75 million to just bail on football and keep the rest of your sports in the ACC. So that's the ACC. Florida State and Clemson, outside of it just being 0 and like, hey, you can leave tomorrow, I really do feel like this is about as well as they could have done with all of this, because in addition to that, you've obviously got the revenue stuff where now you can make up to $20 million more per year. That's Clemson's estimate anyway, with the brand initiatives, just by having more people watch you on TV, and then also success initiatives if you're going to be performing well on the field, which Clemson certainly expects themselves to this year. They are, to some, a national championship contender this year. So you combine that now with, all right, now you've got an option for Super League. It's not just that we have to leave for the Big Ten or the SEC. There's a Super League option. You guys get the call up to the Super League. Don't worry, you can still come play basketball and volleyball and whatever with the rest of the ACC. No problem. No problem. A little bit more here. Let's see. Yeah, Florida State had estimated the cost could exceed $500 million to leave under the settlement. Cost to leave is $165 million this upcoming fiscal year, but it drops by $18 million annually until it gets to $75 million in 2030, and it'll stay that way until the end of the contract through 2036. But I don't really know a soul out there who thinks that it's actually going to make its way to the end of the contract in 2036. Crucially, here's another detail. Crucially, departing schools keep their future TV rights. If those rights had remained with the ACC, Clemson or Florida State would have added significantly less value to a new conference. So yeah, that's the whole deal, right? Your grant of rights, grant of TV rights. Theoretically, that meant in the past world that we were living in that if you were to leave a conference they would still have the rights, the TV rights to your home games. They would still get the money for your home games. And that's obviously a massive deal if you're leaving for another conference. So they're helped by that. If you want the specifics on how the money gets split with the brand initiative, the first 40% of TV money will be split evenly, and then the remaining 60% gets split up with 3/4 being distributed based on football TV viewership and another 1/4 based on men's basketball viewership. So that's all the detail you got on that. It does note other details were redacted and claimed as trade secrets. But that's pretty good info to get out there on what the split is. 60% of the 100% total piece of the pie of multimedia revenue, so your TV revenue, is going to get divvied up as a part of the brand initiative. This is even just brand, okay? And 75% of that 60% is football TV viewership. So that's big news, obviously, for like a Florida State. That's basically it. It notes that Clemson estimated the new model could give them an extra $120 million over a 6-year period if things go well with the brand and success initiatives. So, man, I will reiterate again, dust is settled here. Obviously, a lot of what this means is we're still just pushing toward 2030. I mean, doesn't seem to me like it would be very likely that you're going to get Florida State or Clemson paying to leave early unless something major changes between now and then. But when I say early, I mean before 2030. And then once that exit fee gets whacked down to $75 million in 2030, whatever movement starts to happen with the tectonic plates of conference realignment, who knows by then, they're going to be out. And it seems like the ACC is now expecting that obviously it could happen with the Big Ten or the SEC, but very well could also be a super league that only the upper crust gets invited to, and they are preparing for that, and they have kind of paved the runway for that to happen as well for Florida State and Clemson. And you just look at this thing overall, they got the exit fee reduced by like 5 times plus. They have the opportunity to earn $20 million more per year on the field and with brand incentives. They've got the flexibility to leave for a reasonable number for the Super League and then keep their other sports in the ACC. It's using your leverage pretty well. You know, the perception originally with Florida State, and hey, I was on board with this where I was kind of like, man, this just seems like they're reckless. They're like bull in a china shop, just coming in, trying to mess everything all up and just bully their way out of this thing. Now it actually kind of looks like maybe that was more strategic than we gave everybody credit for. I mean, I think we knew it was strategic at the time, but more down the strategic road than we would have thought at the time with the way everything ended up here. So anyway, okay. Oh, we did get a Texas fan in here. Texas Tech fans, with the title of the video. So gotta love that. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Please do like the video on your way out. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe. Thank you to everybody for getting me over 25,000 subscribers. Means a ton to me. Thank you, everybody who supports this channel and has for years now. Years.